Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Listen to Talk, the podcast where we chat about all things English language learning and life in general. I'm your host, Luna.
And I'm your co-host, Roy. Great to be back with you all.
Today, Roy and I are diving into a topic that resonates with pretty much everyone, regardless of where you are on your English learning journey or in life itself. We're talking about the fear of the new, and specifically, how to take those crucial first steps into new beginnings.
Absolutely, Luna. It's something I think we can all relate to, that feeling of standing at the edge of something unknown, whether it's starting a new job, moving to a new city, even just trying a new recipe. It can be quite daunting.
Exactly. And for our listeners who are learning English, that fear of the new might be amplified. Trying to speak in a new language, interacting with native speakers, perhaps even moving to an English-speaking country like Canada or the UK. These are all significant new beginnings.
Definitely. So today we want to explore why we feel this fear, and more importantly, offer some practical strategies to help you, our listeners, overcome it and embrace the exciting possibilities that new beginnings can bring.
Let's start by acknowledging that this fear is completely normal. It's ingrained in us, perhaps as a survival mechanism. Our brains are wired to prefer the familiar, the safe. The new represents the unknown, and the unknown can feel threatening.
That's a great point, Luna. Think back to our ancestors. Stepping into a new territory could mean encountering danger, so that initial hesitation, that feeling of unease, it's a natural human response.
But in our modern lives, the new isn't usually a saber-toothed tiger. It might be a new career path, a new relationship, learning a new skill, or as we mentioned for many of our listeners, navigating a new language and culture.
Precisely. And while that initial fear is understandable, it can also hold us back from incredible opportunities for growth and happiness. We might stay in a comfortable but ultimately unfulfilling situation simply because the thought of change feels too scary.
So, how do we start to dismantle this fear, Roy? What are some initial steps we can take?
I think the first step is to acknowledge the fear without letting it paralyze you. It's okay to feel nervous or uncertain. Don't try to suppress those feelings. Instead, recognize them for what they are. Just feelings.
That's really important. Often we beat ourselves up for feeling scared, which only makes things worse. It's like saying, I shouldn't be afraid, which is rarely helpful. Instead, try saying, okay, I feel a bit anxious about this new thing, and that's all right.
Exactly. And once you've acknowledged the fear, try to identify exactly what it is you're afraid of. Is it the fear of failure? The fear of looking foolish? The fear of the unknown itself?
Breaking it down like that can make the fear seem less overwhelming. Instead of a big amorphous blob of anxiety, you have specific concerns you can address. For example, if you're afraid of looking foolish when speaking English, you can actively focus on practicing in low-pressure environments or with supportive language partners.
Absolutely. And once you've identified the specific fears, try to challenge them. Are these fears realistic? What's the worst that could actually happen? Often, our fears are much bigger in our minds than they are in reality.
That's so true. We tend to catastrophize, imagining the absolute worst-case scenario. But if we take a step back and look at things rationally, the potential downsides are often manageable, and the potential upsides can be huge.
Another helpful strategy is to focus on the why. Why are you considering this new beginning in the first place? What are the potential benefits? Keeping your motivations in mind can help you push through the initial fear.
I love that, Roy. Connecting with your why can be a powerful motivator. If you're learning English because you dream of traveling the world or connecting with people from different cultures, remind yourself of that when the fear of making mistakes creeps in.
Exactly. And sometimes the fear of the new can feel so big that it's hard to even imagine taking the first step. In those situations, it can be helpful to break the new beginning down into smaller, more manageable steps.
That's fantastic advice. If you're thinking about moving to a new city like Manchester or Boston, the whole idea can feel overwhelming. But if you break it down into smaller tasks, researching neighborhoods, looking at job opportunities, connecting with people online, it suddenly feels much less daunting.
Precisely. Each small step you take builds momentum and helps to chip away at that initial fear. It's like climbing a mountain. You don't try to reach the summit in one giant leap. You take it one step at a time.
And as you take those small steps, it's important to celebrate your progress. Acknowledge each milestone, no matter how small it might seem. Did you send that email in English you were nervous about? Did you have a short conversation with a native speaker? Celebrate those wins.
Absolutely. Positive reinforcement is so important. It helps to build your confidence and reinforces the idea that you are capable of navigating this new beginning.
Another thing that can be incredibly helpful is to talk to other people who have gone through similar experiences. Hearing their stories, their challenges, and how they overcame them can be really inspiring and can help to normalize your own fears.
That's so true, Luna. Find a mentor, a friend, or even connect with people online who have taken similar leaps. Their insights and support can be invaluable. For our English learners, connecting with other learners or even native speakers in online communities can be a great way to build confidence and get advice.
And sometimes, the fear of the new is rooted in a fear of failure. We worry about not being good enough, about making mistakes, about things not working out as we hoped.
That's a big one, Luna. And it's important to remember that failure is not the opposite of success. It's often a stepping stone towards it. Everyone makes mistakes, especially when trying something new. It's how we learn and grow.
Exactly. Think of it as an experiment. If it doesn't work out the first time, you've learned something valuable that you can apply to the next attempt. Thomas Edison, for example, famously failed countless times before inventing the light bulb.
That's a great example, Luna. And for our English learners, making mistakes is a crucial part of the learning process. Don't be afraid to speak, even if you're not sure if you're using the perfect grammar or vocabulary. Every conversation is a chance to learn and improve.
And sometimes, the fear of the new is simply a fear of the unknown. We don't know what to expect, and that uncertainty can be unsettling.
In those situations, it can be helpful to do some research and gather as much information as you can about the new situation. If you're considering moving to a new city like Liverpool or Chicago, research the neighborhoods, the culture, the transportation system. The more information you have, the less daunting the unknown will feel.
That's excellent advice. Knowledge can be a powerful antidote to fear. And sometimes, even with all the preparation in the world, there will still be some uncertainty. In those moments, it's important to try to embrace the unknown and trust in your ability to adapt and figure things out as you go along.
Absolutely. Think of it as an adventure. There will be unexpected twists and turns, but that's part of what makes life interesting and allows us to grow.
And it's also important to remember that you don't have to go it alone. Reach out to your support network, your friends, your family, your colleagues. Let them know what you're going through and ask for their support.
That's so crucial, Luna. Having a strong support system can make all the difference when you're facing a new beginning. They can offer encouragement, practical help, and a listening ear when you need it most.
And sometimes, the fear of the new can be so overwhelming that it feels impossible to take even the smallest step. In those situations, it might be helpful to seek professional guidance from a therapist or a coach.
That's a really important point, Luna. There's no shame in asking for help. A professional can provide you with tools and strategies to manage your anxiety and build your confidence.
So, to recap some of the key strategies we've discussed today, we talked about acknowledging the fear, identifying specific concerns, challenging those fears, focusing on your why, breaking things down into smaller steps, celebrating progress, talking to others, reframing failure, researching the unknown, embracing uncertainty, building a support network, and seeking professional help when needed.
That's a fantastic summary, Luna, and I think the most important thing to remember is that overcoming the fear of the new is a process. It takes time, patience, and self-compassion. There will be ups and downs along the way, and that's perfectly normal.
Exactly. Be kind to yourself. Don't expect to feel fearless overnight. It's about gradually building your confidence and resilience, one step at a time.
And remember that every new beginning, even if it feels scary at first, holds the potential for incredible growth, learning, and new experiences. Think about all the amazing things you might miss out on if you let fear hold you back.
That's a wonderful way to look at it, Roy. Instead of focusing on what you might lose, focus on what you might gain. What new skills will you learn? What new people will you meet? What new perspectives will you develop?
And for our English learners, embracing the new of speaking English opens up a whole world of possibilities. New friendships, new career opportunities, access to new information and entertainment. Don't let the fear of making mistakes stop you from experiencing all that English has to offer.
Absolutely. So, our message to you today is to be brave, be curious, and take that first step. It might feel a little wobbly at first, but with each step you take, you'll become more confident and more comfortable with the new.
And remember, we're here to support you on your journey. Keep listening to Listen to Talk for more tips and encouragement.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We hope this episode has given you some helpful insight and motivation to embrace the new beginnings in your own life.
Until next time, take care and keep talking.